Good morning, MacLaren. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. The weather today is beautiful. Plentiful sunshine, high near 70 degrees. We are getting into the 80s tomorrow and through the weekend, so enjoy the warmth and a taste of early summer. It'll cool down a little bit next week, but enjoy for now. The sun rose this morning at 6:03 a.m. and will set at 7:50 p.m. Today is International Dance Day. This is a global celebration of dance created by UNESCO, that's the United Nations agency, and it takes place every year on April 29th because that is the birthday of Jean-Georges Noverre, who was the creator of modern ballet. So there were ballets before Noverre, but before his time, they were kind of big spectacles, and it was all about kind of big fancy costumes and elaborate scenery, and it wasn't really about the dancing itself. It wasn't about technique or style or personality or emotion or expression. And so Noverre came along and changed all that. He was friends with people like Voltaire and Mozart, and the great English actor David Garrick called him the Shakespeare of the dance. And because all of you do so much dancing in music class, I thought he deserved a little special shout out today. Okay, I want to check in with my avocado plant. You are right. There's nothing happening, and it looks very, very sad and unsprouted. So I think I may need to put that one in the compost and start again. I wanted today to make a pitch for some books. I wanted to sell you on the possibility of some books. And one of the great things about a novel or a chapter book is that you can read it at any age. So even if you are younger, you can, and the words are too big for you, you could still have someone read you the story aloud. And there are so many great places to get audiobooks. You can get them through the Pikes Peak Library District. You can get them through LibriVox. LibriVox is free. There's just people all over the world who record audiobooks and put them on LibriVox. There are subscription services like Audible. Certainly there are many places that you can order a hard copy of the book, have it come right to your house. You can read the digital ebook on a tablet or something. So there are still so many ways for you to keep reading new books, and I wanted to just pitch you on a couple. So the first one, I'll read you the jacket copy on a few books and maybe offer a few observations. So the first one, these are all well-loved books in my house, and so some of them are pretty tattered and battered. But the first book is Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. So the jacket copy on this says, "You must go, Mrs. Frisbee," said the owl, "to the rats under the rose bush. They are not, I think, like other rats." And they were not. Mrs. Frisbee, a mouse, did go to the rats for help and discovered their secret. Rats that could read, that could use machines, that could plan a self-supporting rat society, yet rats in great danger. Could tiny Mrs. Frisbee help them? This is a wonderful story, and one of my children recently pointed out that so often children's books feature children as protagonists, and Mrs. Frisbee is a mother, and it's sort of, she's a mouse, but she's an adult mouse, and it's sort of fun to have a story in which a grown-up is the hero of the children's story. I am still, all these years later, still very fond of E.B. White's Stuart Little, speaking of books that are about mice. So I'll read you the jacket copy on this. Stuart Little is a mouse in the family of the Frederick C. Littles, and is a pleasantly debonair little character, with a sly, engaging manner and a somewhat philosophical turn of mind. His size, just over 2 inches, does give him some trouble now and then, but on the whole his life is a happy one. His great adventure comes when, at the age of 7, he sets out in the world to seek his dearest friend, Margalo, a beautiful little bird who stayed in the Littles' Boston fern. And this is such a quick read, but it's one of those books that you should read in childhood, and it will just always stay with you. A book that has been very highly sought after in our house lately is the Newbery Honor winner, Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. Oh, I should have said Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim is by Robert C. O'Brien, O'Brien with an E. Stuart Little is, of course, by E.B. White, who wrote Charlotte's Web and many, many other books for adults and for children. And this one is by Grace Lynn. Young Min Lee lives in the Valley of Fruitless Mountain, where she and her parents spend their days working hard in the fields. At night, Min Lee listens to her father's tales about the old man of the moon who knows the answers to everything. Min Lee sets out on a quest to find the old man of the moon. He will know how she can bring good fortune to her family. Along the way, she meets many magical friends, including a talking fish, a powerful king, and a dragon who can't fly. So this is one of those books that just is very transporting. It's, a fairy tale, but because it's set in China, it has a very different feel than maybe a Brothers Grimm or Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. These books, this whole series, look how tattered this is. These books are so beloved in my house and that they're just falling apart, and we don't even have the first one anymore. It's just called The Penderwicks, and they get even better after that. There's the Penderwicks on Gardam Street, the Penderwicks at Point Muette, the Penderwicks in Spring. And so I'll read you this one. This is just about a family, and the stories are very sweet and simple, and the characters are very rich, and you just love these characters. The Penderwick sisters are home on Gardam Street and ready for an adventure. But the adventure they get isn't quite what they had in mind. Mr. Penderwick's sister has decided it's time for him to start dating, and the girls know that can only mean one thing: disaster. Enter the Save Daddy plan, a plot so brilliant, so bold, so funny, that only the Penderwick girls could have come up with it. Okay, that is all I have for you today, my friends. Keep reading, get lots of books. Meanwhile, take heart, keep tending to your victory gardens, keep a pleasant schedule and a good routine, get fresh air and plenty of exercise, be a helper to your family. Don't have any altercations, no altercating with your siblings. If it is your birthday today, April 29th, happy birthday to you. I hope you all have a day of kindness, friendliness, and peace. We are all in this together. See you tomorrow.